Prime Minister. No restricted areas in fire prevention work. Arab nations, U.S. divided on Gaza ceasefire. The world rushes to put rules around AI.
Hello everyone, you're watching today's news on NTV channel. Let's get started. Strict handling of violations, no restricted areas, no exceptions in fire prevention and fighting. That is the direction of Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính at the National Online Conference evaluating the results of 10 months of implementing Directive No. 1 on strengthening the fire prevention and fighting in the new situation on November 5th.
Restating the importance and significance of fire prevention and fighting, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính said, "Attention to security and safety is one of the leading targets in people's lives, therefore, it is strictly forbidden to take advantage of group interests or install regulations that benefit one group of people, but are detrimental to the others in the country." The Prime Minister also affirmed that violations related to fire prevention and fighting should not be legalized, but there must be solutions to solve problems that arise in management.
Regarding the mini apartment fire in Khương Hà, Hanoi that killed 56 people on September 12, thanks on the streak, Hanoi City this morning, November 5th, announced the method of distributing more than 130 billion donations from sources to support victims.
According to the announced plan, each survivor will be supported 700 million Vietnamese dongs. The level of worship support for relatives of 56 people who died is 500 million Vietnamese dongs per person, total 28 billion Vietnamese dongs. 3 injured people who had to be treated at the hospital for 3 to 7 days were supported with 300 million Vietnamese dongs each. 33 people who had to be treated at the hospital for more than 7 days were supported with 400 million Vietnamese dongs each. A person with serious or dangerous injuries is supported with 1 billion Vietnamese dongs. Orphans receive cash support. Among them, one child who was orphaned by both parents was supported 2 billion Vietnamese dongs. 4 children who lost a parent were supported with 1 billion Vietnamese dongs each. For 22 children under 16 years old whose parents are still alive, each child will be supported 600 million Vietnamese dongs.
The U.S. and its Arab allies are beginning to show signs of division over Israel's attack on Gaza to defeat Hamas, under pressure to reach an immediate ceasefire.
Speaking at a recent press conference, Arab foreign ministers urged U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to persuade Israel to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. However, Arab leaders also appeared hesitant to make comprehensive comments on the future of the Gaza Strip. In response, Mr. Blinken rejected that idea and said that, if there was a ceasefire, the Islamic militant group Hamas would have the opportunity to gather forces and attack Israel again. Mr. Blinken on November 5, local time, resumed his visit to the Middle East, his second trip to this region. According to Gaza health officials, to date, more than 9,400 Palestinians in Gaza have died due to Israeli counterattacks. It is the rapid increase in the number of civilians killed by bombs and bullets in Gaza that emphasizes strong need for the international community to call for an immediate ceasefire. A series of protests against Israel's attack on Gaza by citizens of countries such as the US, Germany, UK and France are taking place simultaneously. Many countries have recalled their ambassadors and even severed diplomatic relations with Israel.
Coming up next are some updated news.
Quang Ngai Province is building a dossier to submit to the Prime Minister for approval and request UNESCO to recognize Sa Huyen archaeological cultural relic as a World Heritage Site. Sa Huyen cultural archaeological relics listed on the list submitted to UNESCO continue to expand in 4 areas: Sa Huyen, Seamouth, Lee Sun Island, Bin Sun, Ancient Ship Cemetery, Sun Ha, Mountain Valley. Those areas have outstanding global values from a historical, aesthetic, ethnological or anthropological point of view, creating a colorful appearance of the ecological complex of the Sa Huyen cultural inhabitants. The condition of the Sa Win cultural archaeological relic is almost intact in terms of the residential environment of the residents, the exchange with contemporary archaeological cultures in the area and the shape of the relics. Airports Corporation of Vietnam, ACV, recently announced that it has approved a plan to select a contractor for the domestic terminal renovation project, Vinh International Airport. The goal of the project is to improve the quality of operations and the quality of passenger service at Vinh Airport while still ensuring the requirements of the technological line to deal with the increase in numbers of passengers. According to the approved investment, the equipments that will be allocated cost about 26 billion Vietnamese dongs.
Moving on to today's story. It can be denied that the rapid development of artificial intelligence (AI) technology has improved the quality of people's work and life. However, scientists and technology experts warn that without tight supervision and with wrong purposes, AI can cause serious consequences.
The first Artificial Intelligence, AI, Safety Summit held in the UK recently showed the urgency of global efforts to ensure safety in the field of artificial intelligence. Leaders from 28 countries, representatives of leading technology companies and academics participating in the event agreed that the risks related to AI, from job loss, cyber attacks to the loss of control over AI systems created by humans, is enormous.
We can't do is expect companies to mark their own homework. Right? I don't think people would expect that in other walks of life. It's incumbent on governments to keep their citizens safe and protected, and that's the approach we take to everything else. That's the approach we'll take here. That's why we've invested significantly in our AI Safety Institute. It's our job to independently, externally evaluate, monitor, and test these models to make sure.
It can be said that the world is sharing achievements in AI, and of course, is also facing the obvious risks that it brings. The Bletchley Declaration, signed by 28 countries after the Artificial Intelligence AI Safety Summit, brings hopes to help the world reduce risks and strengthen scientific cooperation.
It's the end of the show today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.